Graeme, what's the family's legal team saying about this report?
A very good evening to you, Shahan. So as we know at this stage, when the findings of this inquiry had come out, it was basically exonerating the four soldiers that were accused in this case, basically clearing them of any wrongdoing at this point. And this inquiry goes on to say that what had actually happened on Good Friday in April was that the soldiers had approached the house and the brother-in-law and Collins Khosa had been outside the yard, or at least the brother-in-law was at this time, and that's when the officers, or the soldiers rather, noticed this half a cup full of alcohol, and that's when the questioning began. This turned into an argument. According to the SANDF inquiry, the argument was about the fact that the brother-in-law and Collins Khosa had allegedly undermined two of the female soldiers and quote-unquote used provocative means to do so. The lawyer for Collins Khosa's family, Vickers Stale from Ian Levitt Attorneys, I spoke to him earlier today. He's now come out and basically said it's all rubbish in terms of that SANDF inquiry, because in terms of the cause of the blunt force trauma to Collins Khosa's head, it basically shows in that sense that these four soldiers didn't do anything to cause that. And the attorney's saying that's absolutely rubbish. That's not the case. They want to appoint their own pathologist. Here's a bit more about what he had to say.
The soldiers in the report further say that they interacted with Collins Khosa and his brother-in-law because there was an open bottle or glass of alcohol in the yard. That is equally ridiculous. It has never been illegal under the lockdown to have alcohol in your own property. You cannot be in the street, and Collins was not in the street. He was in his own yard. That does still not give the SANDF or any other member of the security forces the right to assault them and never mind kill Collins Khosa.
And what's the response from government, Ben?
A very good question, Shahan. So we saw last night Defence Minister Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula basically informing journalists that because this matter has not been concluded yet, the investigation is still ongoing at this stage, she's not willing to say much at all. Here's what she had to say.
It's a matter which I do not want to comment on, precisely because it is a matter which is still under investigation. And in terms of the court, in fact, it is a sub judice matter. The fact that the court last week or 2 weeks ago made a ruling on suspending those who are supposedly implicated, but also issuing directives by both the police and the South African National Defence Force on how the law enforcement agencies should deal with people in the course of conducting their work. That has been done. It is a correct decision.
So I see the National Defence Union also wants to join this case.
100% correct, Shahan. The National Defence Union has called the findings of this SANDF inquiry as being both suspicious and irregular. The National Defence Union believes and has echoed the views of others, saying that this is a cover-up. The union now, of course, also wants to become a friend of the court when the inquiry itself heads for a review. We know that's due to come soon, as the lawyers for the family also wants their own pathologist, rather, to investigate this case so that they can bring something more watertight. Just something important to remember as well, Shahan, is that the family members of Collins Khosa were not interviewed in the SANDF inquiry, which leaves a lot of concern at this stage.
Yeah, definitely the case. We're going to leave it right there. Graeme Rauben-heimer.